Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. All right, here's the reading you've been waiting for. The presidential debate will be on Thursday. I am recording this Wednesday night at 4:58 p.m. Just got off work, and now I'm doing my second job. There's been a lot of speculation and trial balloons floated up there about Trump not attending this debate. Sean Hannity's out there saying people have been saying, "Sir, you shouldn't attend this debate till you win the Republican nomination." Saying that Jake Tapper and the other host are biased against Trump. Joe Biden's amped up on Red Bull and stuff like that, and can't possibly be fair. Everything's biased. Such a victim. That's why he shouldn't go. And then, on the other side, they're saying like, "Oh, Biden's going to be amped up, so he's going to sound really sharp." And Trump's like, "Well, maybe I should lose this debate on purpose." What? I thought you came from the party of never getting tired of winning. Ah, jeez. So this is one of those damned if you do, damned if you don't moments, whether Trump chickens out because he's outclassed and he knows it, or he shows up and is going to be outclassed and proves it, but then claims that Biden cheated, of course, because what else could it possibly be? It couldn't be that Trump is suffering from dementia and puts no effort in on anything and is mentally damaged versus Joe Biden, whose only crime is that he's 82 years old. All right? All right, but let's look at the energy. Let's look at the debate. Will Trump show up? You got to start with that one. I won't even look at the energy around the debate. We got to look to see if Trump's even going to show up, because there's no sense in doing the energy around the debate if he's not even showing up. Entertainment purposes only. 4 of Wands. That would seem to indicate he's showing up, unless it's upside down, in which case they're kicking him in the butt on the way out. So I'm getting 4 of Wands as the signifier card, the wedding card, the opening day. Here we go, opening the doors for everyone to see. Crossed with the King of Wands. I think, and then we have underneath the Devil card. I think somebody, I was talking with my brother about this last night. Whoever is the last person in Trump's ear is the person that gets him to do what he wants to do. And I think somebody tells him he's got to go through with this. Man up, go in there and do your job. And underneath it, the American public, in some ways it's also the American public. The American public is going to get to decide what they want to see in this debate. For folks who haven't seen Donald Trump in a while debating, they might be in for a shock. Underneath it all is the Devil card. What this is telling me is that the Biden fans aren't going to switch off from Biden. The Trump fans aren't going to switch off from Trump. So those aren't the people you're trying to convince. What you're trying to convince are women who are Republicans, who are concerned about their civil rights, and young people who are concerned about the war that Israel is engaging in with Hamas over in Palestine. Additionally, for non-committed independents at this point, who think that Donald Trump is who he was in 2016 and don't know who he is in 2024. In the past, we have the King of Cups. In the previous debate, it is pretty much arguably correct that Biden did very well and outclassed Trump. In this debate, you would expect more of the same. Biden will be prepared. He'll be poised. He will have his emotions under control. In the last debate, Donald Trump kept trying to talk over Biden, was having a hard time controlling his emotions. And in this debate, they're going to mute the microphone so there'll be less talking over each other. Current situation is the Ten of Swords. This is either Trump really not wanting to do it and trying to find a way out, or this probably also is once he's up there and starts showing people who he is, again, it's not going to impact the MAGA, the true faithful. It's not going to impact them. It's the people that can be convinced are going to see something that they really don't, that's shocking to them. The overarching energy, now this is again, will Trump show up? If he doesn't, he's dead. He's dead in the water, basically. The overarching energy is the hangman. So, in a way, he's damned if he does and he's damned if he doesn't. If he doesn't show up, he's dead in the water. If he does show up, he's going to have to be on full display for everybody to see. And he's not the man he was back in 2016 or even 2020. The lesson to be learned is the Fool card. Donald Trump got away with not attending any of the Republican debates. Just felt he was above those things. And then, all he does is go to rallies, and his people applaud him and clap for everything that he does. In this case, he doesn't have an audience to tell him he's doing well. And we're going to find out who he is. He's either starting a new journey or he's going to walk right off the cliff. The outcome is temperance, detoxification. Oh, yeah. There's always the possibility that Trump walks out at the beginning of the debate. Or when things get difficult, he walks out. The outcome is temperance. I think some people, again, will he show up at this debate? Yeah, I think he will. Oh, temperance, of course. He's going to be talking about the drug tests. He's going to walk out if Biden doesn't take a drug test. There'll be that threat still. He'll accuse Biden of being on drugs. That's because Biden didn't want to take a drug test or whatever. There's going to be those accusations. Yeah, I keep asking if he's going to show up, and I keep reading it as how he's going to do on his performance. Yeah, I think he's dead if he doesn't show up. He's going to have to do this. He's backed himself into a corner, and he's going to try and rely again on drug testing as his excuse for Biden doing well, or his excuse for not showing up at all, or for walking out in the middle of it. There. Have I covered all the bases? I've covered it. If Trump doesn't show up, he's going to say it's the Biden drug test. If Trump does show up and storms out, it's because of the Biden drug test. And if he debates and does poorly, it's because of the Biden drug test. But right now, if I were looking at those cards, I'd say he's showing up because he's backed himself into a corner. Similar to Barron's graduation, when he was saying Judge Merchan was being really unfair, wasn't going to let Trump go to Barron's graduation. And the judge said, oh, no, I never said that. We're well ahead on this court case. You can take that Friday off to go to your son's graduation. And then he kind of had to go because he had to save face. Same thing with Melania's mom, with Judge Engoron. His mother-in-law died, and Judge Engoron isn't letting him go to the funeral. So Judge Engoron said, no, that's fine, you can go to the funeral. And then Melania wouldn't let him in the limo. Probably because, well, something was rotting in Donald's shorts. And she didn't want to have to be subjected to that. Oh, if she lit a match, she might have blown up and saved us all the trouble. No court would convict her. Lover's card popping up. Well, there you go, right there. Okay, so what's the energy around... this is now working in assumption Trump shows up. What is the energy around the debate? How is that going to look? So I'm going to go on the record and say, yes, he will show up. He will show up at the facility. He will probably get checked into the facility, and I bet you he will answer at least one question. The real question is, will he stick around for the whole thing? But let's see what the energy is around this. It's going to go forward. Even if he doesn't show up, it's going to go forward. But it's going to go forward here. It's going to be methodical, which is interesting. Crossed with the Nine of Wands. It's going to be it's going to, they only get 2 minutes. They only get 2 minutes here. And where was I going with it? It's going to feel like it's going to drag on. And it might be because, Trump, as Gary often describes it, Trump is like asked to write a 500-word essay when he's only got a 30-word vocabulary. So it's like he uses the word very a lot. Very, 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 that type of thing. Trying to fill things out. Looking at this, so how's the energy going to be around it? It's going to move forward. It's going to progress at a pace because it's a production. I think, the moderators are going to be in for a battle. And at least one of the candidates is going to be mentally exhausted at the questions because they didn't prepare for it. So I think what you're going to have here is one of the players here is going to be answering questions, and the other is going to be making outlandish accusations about Biden and drug tests. Underneath it all is the Sun card. This is fabulous. I like having the Sun card here because what that means is the blanket's pulled off. People's eyes are going to be opened. You're going to see the stark difference between these two candidates. In the past, you have the Eight of Coins. The person who's going to do well in this is the one who's prepared. They've taken the practice debates. They've taken this seriously. They've studied their facts. They're ready to go. They know what the criticisms of their actions are going to be, and they've got retorts ready to go. Current situation with the energy around this. Again, one person is going to do well and is going to impress everyone, and one person is going to come across as a smug, arrogant prick. Okay? One of them is going to be in control. One of them is going to be out of control. One of them is going to be, tired, but is going to answer all the questions. One of them just wants to leave as soon as possible. One's done the work, one hasn't. The person who's done the work is going to be confident. The person who hasn't is going to be full of vitriol and attitude. Because if you're not prepared, all you've got left is attitude, right? The overarching energy is the Five of Swords. It's going to be ruthless. There's going to be no quarter given. Nobody's going to say my opponent is correct on this. That is a phrase you're not going to hear on this one. This debate's for all the marbles. And in this regard, both candidates are going to be ruthless. One person's going to be ruthless and effective. The other one's going to be a sociopathic, malignant narcissist. The lesson to be learned is the devil. One person, you're going to find out who the unhinged, unhealthy person is in this. And there might be people who decide to unchain themselves from that unhinged person. Outcome is the Death card. So we've got the Sun card underneath here as the underlying energy. One person's going to do well and is going to live to fight another day. One person's campaign is going to suffer a massive blow, and they're going to need to rethink things. I don't think anybody's going to die on stage. That's a major arcana right at the end there. All right, so what's the energy? Notice I didn't get like the Five of Wands or something like that. So we're not going to have the hillbilly brawl like we did before. I think part of that is because there's no audience there, and that keeps the temperature down. And the microphones can be muted, and that keeps them from talking over each other. Somebody pointed out that the podiums are only like 10 feet apart or something like that. So it's not like one person can't shout and try and interrupt the other one. But generally speaking, Trump's going to be at a disadvantage with this. If you watched, even if you're a Trump supporter, and I don't suspect many Trump supporters watch this, and if they have, they certainly didn't make it 15 minutes into this video without like bursting a blood vessel in their brain, and I'm sorry for that. But if you're still here and you haven't burst a blood vessel yet, look at Trump and watch Trump and Biden's debate in 2020. Watch how Trump kept trying to talk over Biden when it was Biden's turn to ask questions. And then like try to ask questions while Biden's answering the moderator's questions. It's not Trump's job. Trump relies on the audience applauding him, and he relies on, you know, pushing people around and being a bully. And that's not going to happen here. He's lost those two key things. He's going to be at a disadvantage because those are the two things he does best. You know, feed an audience and then push his way around. How will the public perceive Donald Trump from this debate? I kind of want to start with Biden. Maybe I'll do a challenge reading. Yeah, let's do a challenge reading on this one. We'll have Biden on the left, and Trump on the right. Maybe I'll put him on the far right. How will the public receive this? Okay, challenge card. King of Cups. Who's the emotionally mature person in this one? There's your Biden card right there. So for Biden, he's going to talk about the economy. He's going to talk about how people are better off now than they were 4 years ago. You know, how they've overcome COVID, how all the acts, all the things that he's gotten done together. He's basically going to tell people about his successes in the office. And people are going to view him positively for that. And again, underneath is the death card. So just like the outcome in this one, the underlying energy is you're either going to bring Biden to an end of his term or you're going to bring Trump to the end of his political career. That's what's at stake here. So for Biden, there's your hillbilly brawl card. He's going to talk about the chaos that was going on in the United States when he took over the presidency. He's going to talk about the insurrection. The temperature of the country was at a boiling point. People are threatening civil wars, that sort of thing. And look where we are now. He's been inclusive. He's brought programs in. He's brought jobs back to America. He's trying to build a better America for everybody, not just red states or blue states, but for all states. We're in good hands. Oh, and you should probably mention that he's not been convicted of 34 felonies. And that he is actually the president of law and order. His own son has been convicted of felonies, and he hasn't pardoned him. He didn't get rid of a special counsel on that case. He did no interference. He let the law do its job. Okay? That's his argument for why he's the King of Cups, the mature leader. For Trump is all about, look at me, I'm a winner, and you should be tired of winning by now. But this could also be reversed because pretty much he's a loser. If you need any other thing to follow with that, he's lost like 4 or 5 court cases in a row, plus the 2020 election, amongst other things. He has championed the taking away of women's rights, and there's going to be more of the same. With Project 2025 is fully intent on doing that. He wants to remove social programs. He wants to reduce welfare. He wants to reduce Social Security. He wants to raise the age. He wants to reduce the benefits, all in an effort to privatize it. He gave a major tax cut to really wealthy people. And, he takes trickle-down economics and then puts a chokehold on the trickle part of it. He's probably annoyed that in trickle-down economics, some money actually trickled down, and he aims to put a stop to that. Trump will try and say he's a winner, that he's the best for the economy. He's done more to help people than Biden would ever do. And he's a champion of women's rights. And, you know, he's going to make America great again. But really, he's a fool. He has been all about keeping the money with the wealthy and choking out people on the bottom. And he has been quite proud of the fact that he's nominated 3 Supreme Court justices who took away women's reproductive rights, amongst other things. That's what you got. Putting cards back in. So, both sides will declare victory. The American public's going to see the candidates for who they are. You know, if you are in a right-wing media echo chamber, you know that Joe Biden is Sleepy Joe. He can barely stay awake. He dodders off and all sorts of stuff like that. Totally unfit. And then you got the guy who's 3 years younger, who has a family history of Alzheimer's and seems to be showing, you know, hallmarks of dementia, who appears to have had strokes, is not grounded in reality, and his followers are absolutely rabid cult members who approve dear leader over everyone else. So, for the independents, for those who are not trapped in right-wing or left-wing echo chambers, for women that want their reproductive rights back and things like that, what do they think? How do they come away from this debate? What's the energy around this group of people? Because that's pretty much the group of people that are going to be influenced by this debate. Okay? Knight of Pentacles. Moving forward with the message of values. Crossed by the Eight of Swords. You know, it's one of those instances where they're not really excited about either candidate. I'm sorry to say. But you're going to have to pick one of the two of them. So who are you going to pick? And then underneath it all is the Drunken Hillbilly Brawl card. It's the chaos and the confusion and all the energy that's around that. So folks have to decide amongst the chaos that's going to happen, especially through the debates and then through the summer, who best represents their values, even if this person is not their ideal candidate. In the past, the Page of Pentacles, for the folks, and here it is. These are the folks that talk about what their values are. You know, they want to hear the candidates talk about it. Now they're going to actually see what the candidates' values are, and now they need to make a choice on that. They leave the debate, and they're kind of looking at their future. It's kind of a near-term future, too, of where do I want to go with this? What are my choices? A lot, you know, if there were exit polling, I don't think a lot are going to say they changed their mind or didn't change their mind or who they're supporting. They're going to evaluate things. The overarching energy is the Six of Wands. They want somebody who's a leader. Somebody who's going to lead the country in a way that's going to be successful. This is not a dictator card. And the lesson to be learned is the Five of Coins. You know, who's going to be a leader? Who's not going to, kick people out and divide them? You know, they might consider who's going to help poor people, who's going to help marginalized people, who's going to help people outside of the Beltway, who best represents their interests, especially as when times get tough. The outcome is the Five of Cups. I think for some people, again, they would rather... I think this would be similar to the CEOs that met up with Trump the other day. A number of the CEOs, from what I was being told, I have not read a story on this, and I'm sure between talking with my brother and comments and chats last night and other things, the CEOs wanted to help Trump out. And after hearing Trump speak, they couldn't in good conscience vote for him. He's not the same person that he was. And I think that's what people are going to come away with. That, some people really want to vote for Trump. They really do. But he's not who he was before, and they're disappointed in that. He's rambling. Now, again, for the MAGA faithful, it's not going to matter. We're talking about the people that can be convinced. They're both, we got the 5 of coins and the 5 of cups. So you're looking at wealth and health, and you're looking at emotions. And both 5s are generally transition cards, moving from one area to the next. And if you're an uncommitted independent, by definition, you're a 5 in this. You may not have made your mind, but people will make up their minds. They will do it based on the economy. They will do it based on their values. They will do it based on the emotions and the emotional state of both candidates. They will go with their gut feeling. That 8 of Swords again, they're not excited by either candidate. There isn't a candidate that matches their ideals. But unfortunately, in our current iteration of a democracy, with our current political party system, that's not an option. I mean, yeah, you could vote for the Libertarian candidate. You could vote for the Green Party candidate. You could vote for the Peace and Freedom candidate. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a Democrat or a Republican that wins this race. Which one do you want? Play the tape all the way through and make your best choice. Will either one of them get you where you want to go? No, they won't. That's just the reality of it. You've got to pick the one that's going to get you closest to where you want to go. And then the next election, you keep voting for people that get you closer and closer. It's not, this isn't a jackpot where you hit 777s or anything like that going across the board. You hit some cherries and you get some mixed bars and you build up the money that way. And maybe one day you get that jackpot, but that day isn't this day. So what do I think is going to happen? I think Trump is going to show up. Oh, I should at least ask. Will Trump storm out? I didn't look at that. So as I see it so far, Trump will show up. The American public's going to see both these candidates for who they are. One's going to come across as a typical presidential candidate, and one's going to come across as unhinged. And it's up to them to decide how it's going to be. It sounds like Trump would stay all the way through, but let's do a 4-carder just to see. Will Trump stay all the way through the debate rather than storming off? Will he stay all the way through the debate? 2 of Cups. That seems like a yes. That's like an agreement here. The red and the blue. The Hermit card. People are watching. He likes an audience, He's going to be tired, though. He's, again, tired, not prepared. Maybe not. He's not at his best. He'll be looking forward to the next one. He might threaten he's going to leave if he doesn't get... it would be just like him to threaten to leave if he doesn't get what he wants. Yeah, I think he's going to stick through. I don't think he's going to storm out. He wants to stick through because he wants to make his points, and he thinks that he's going to really drive his point home, and people are going to support him. But I think, assuming he makes it all the way through this one, he knows he's up for 2 debates, and he may not be so excited about the second one. But if he's going to do the second one, he's got to prepare for it. So do I think he's going to storm out? No, I think he's going to stick it out all the way through there. But he's... Yeah. he has a hard time focusing. He has a hard time concentrating. It's like that ADHD. He has a hard time just, staying in the moment. He can do it for spurts, but he's going to get bored. And he's going to have to be on for an hour and a half, however long this debate's going to be. And it's going to be hard for him to do that. So kind of watch to see how he's fidgeting along during, listen to Biden, but watch Trump's body language. Watch what he's doing. That ought to be interesting. Okay? So everybody will be watching. We'll see how it all turns out. Thank you very much for watching this video and subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it. Check out Tarot of the Seven Seas or Twin Tarot with Gary and David, my other two channels, if you're interested in stuff like this and you want to see more of it. Thank you for everything you do to help feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel for the first time or recently, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one.